But you have a guest on that says it. You're not agreeing with it.
Mm-hmm. And at the time, he said they're not here to defend themselves.
But I don't know why he would take it down, though. Why do you take it down? I didn't say it. She said it. There's a slippery slope here.
We're about to have a look at Patrick Bed, David, and crew over at the PBD Podcast and Valuetainment, breaking down a decision that Piers Morgan recently made about removing an episode that contained an interview with some person, some lady named Jaguar or something. I don't actually know who she is, but I did watch the episode, and I was really surprised to find out that Piers Morgan actually took this down off of his channel. And the reason why, well, you know what? I don't want to ruin it, but I will tell you that I watched the episode and I couldn't believe the claims that this lady was making on his show. I was really actually amazed at the things that she was claiming and thinking, man, if this is true, holy smokes, all these people involving P. Diddy and potentially Jay-Z and all these people that she was naming are in some serious trouble. Like I said, without giving away too much, let's go ahead and get into this video.
Piers Morgan has Jaguar Wright on. You guys even asked me a question about what percentage of what she says is accurate.
Yeah,
if you remember
said
that.
not very
Can you
much,
play
right?
the clip of Piers? Is this the clip with Jaguar or is this the apology?
Yes, so I have both. I have Jaguar Wright's accusations against Jay-Z and Beyonce, and then I have Piers Morgan.
Do that. Go for it, Rob. Yeah.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands.
Wow.
I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Mr. Carter's who?
They're a nasty little couple.
Jay-Z.
They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious.
This girl's
There's
got
a
an
lot
agenda.
of things that
You can
people
tell.
don't want to talk about, Piers.
She about to do a fake
But, okay, but hold on, but Adam, but here's the thing. And again, it always sounds crazy and wild until it ain't, because, and who knows? She's not credible or lie detector test or whatever. What if she's right? What if all these things that she's seen, because she's a dominatrix. She said she used to work at these parties and tie guys up and whip them and everything like that. She was about that life. So when somebody that's about that life tells you about the life,
you giving her a lot of credibility?
I'm not. But Adam, where is she coming up with this stuff? She was at these places. She's seen it firsthand.
I'm not denying.
She was there.
Here, if I listen, you can go
play this clip.
Yeah,
first.
okay.
Play this clip, then we'll react. Go ahead, Rob.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact. And we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Okay, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
2 things can be true at once. Diddy could be an absolute dirtbag, guilty of everything, but also Jaguar Wright could be looking for her 15 minutes of fame. Prior to this week, this month, have you ever heard of this person?
I have.
So, okay, I don't know where parties you're at with that
No,
baby.
not parties, but she's been in front of the camera for a while.
I've never heard of her.
Okay.
I've been listening to hip hop since, Beastie Boys did Brass Monkey in '86.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this person. She's now, if you type in Google, if you type in Jag what's the first thing that pops up? I guarantee you it's her. Not the Jacksonville Jaguars or an actual Jaguar. She's the first thing that pops up. So she's utilizing this 15 minutes of fame, and there she is right there. Here's what I'll also say about Diddy. This was
what song she was in?
No.
Big Pimpin'. You know what other song she was in?
Big Pimpin', spending.
You know what other song?
That's Jay-Z.
Yeah. You remember the movie with Denzel, American Gangster, while that one guy comes out with the song Heart of the City?
Yeah.
You know the Heart of the City?
Yeah.
Ain't no more.
It was a remake
That's
her.
Of
80s.
She's in it.
Okay.
She's in those two songs.
She's a backup singer.
She is.
She's
backup singer for Jay-Z in 2001.
Okay, but she ain't Beyonce. She ain't
of course
Rihanna.
not.
She has been around.
She's been around
I'm
them.
not denying that she's been around it. Like, they're interviewing her for a reason. Here's what I found the most interesting about Diddy overall. This was David Muir was actually, he's the ABC guy, big news guy. He was interviewing, I guess, the guy that's handling a lot of the sexual allegations about Diddy, and he's receiving a lot of phone calls. Here's the most interesting thing about these sexual allegations. Yeah, I don't know if it was him or a different lawyer, but it was on ABC. You can check that out. He goes, talk about a gender difference. It's so interesting about Diddy. He goes, prior to 2005, it was actually 50-50, these allegations that kept coming in, men and women. 50% men, 50% women. But how about this? After 2005, it was 90% men.
So I'm going to admit something to you that I'm not ashamed about, but it's just something you probably wouldn't have guessed by looking at me, is that I grew up loving this, gangster rap and hardcore rap and Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg, Dre, these types of dudes. Biggie, Pac, Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever a little bit, maybe, it's funny. Maybe that's when, Puff Daddy changed his name to P. Diddy in reference to Adam's point there. But if I come to find out that these dudes are just a bunch of posers, they did it for the money only, they're not, living this life at all, they just were out here saying words, and it really was just a psyop to damage, like a lot of people say, the black community or just the community in general, because like I said, I love this music. I was influenced by it as well. I'm just going to be so disappointed in rap and mainstream music. And, that's just why I love guys like Tom McDonald, Tech Nine, dudes that are just independent, artists, independent rappers. These guys, there's plenty more. I'm not going to get into them all. But if these dudes really are just a bunch of posers, I can never listen to any of their music ever again. Seriously.
There is, everything we talk about is, who knows? We're not there. Maybe.
Hand.
That's why we have hats that sell that says allegedly, right? You're not there to have witnessed it. There's a personal eyewitness. Then there's this. Okay. Last week, you guys asked me, what do you think about her, about what she's saying? And if you remember what I said is, that sometimes,
how much credibility she has.
You tell a story and it does so well, and then you do 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 interviews, and then now you have to embellish and exaggerate to keep getting people to want to invite you to their shows, and you have to keep making the stories bigger and bigger and bigger. She's crossed that line a long time ago. Now, by the way, I gave the Gianni Russo example. Remember Gianni Russo example when I said
he was a Marilyn Monroe. He did this,
and that. No, it's a little too much. Now, by the way, believe it or not, people like her actually can hurt real people that actually went through real things. Those people are like, get her off the big screen. Why is she talking, right? She should not be talking because she's making the rest of us look bad, okay? And I don't know. I don't know. What Alex is doing is he's just coming out and saying, hey, you crossed the line. And by the way, if he comes out and they decide to go after Piers, which is what they're doing, hey, take this down. It's not even a cease and desist. Take this down or else the court. All right. Now, the question is, Tom, did Piers do the right thing, taking it down?
Well, it all depends on what that letter said. And sometimes to avoid things from being expensive. Now, I think that, did he do the right thing? I think he made a business decision.
Right.
We don't need to reach into our pocket and pay a bunch of lawyers and end up in court. And what are we going to be doing in court? We're going to be defending, our journalistic right, or we're to be defending Jaguar. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do either one of them. And so, but in his statement, he very carefully said, at the time, I pointed out these were big claims and that Jay-Z and Beyonce aren't here to defend themselves. Well, apparently that wasn't enough. The other side of it is you really got to be careful what you protest, right? What is Jay-Z and Beyonce protecting? Well, they're protecting their reputation. Yeah, but you're in the music industry. There's all this stuff going on right now. Do you just let all the BS fly, or do you draw a line in it and say, I'm not going to be part of it? They got their lawyer to go draw a line and say, I'm not going to be part of it, because there's all kinds of people saying all kinds of things. And so do you spend your day chasing every wild thing that is said while all these people and alleged victims and other people that are just trying to be opportunistic or saying stuff? Do you run around and try to, you know what I'm saying, Pat? You could end up playing whack-a-mole.
But you have a guest on that says it. You're not agreeing with it.
Mm-hmm. And at the time he said they're not here to defend themselves.
But I don't know why he would take it down, though. Why do you take it down? I didn't say it. She said it. There's a slippery slope here.
Well, there is. He made a business decision which says that.
Not comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, we like Piers. Piers is a good guy. You guys are both on his program, but that doesn't shade our view here.
Someone told him that this is what we're doing, and you have to follow that lead. But there's a part of it, look, if you say it, you're held accountable, we'll apologize. Mm-hmm. If we say it.
Yes.
But if a guest says it, I don't know.
Rob made a good point, Rob. Rob said, Did Bill Gates or Reid Hoffman's attorney send letters to Elon or Tucker? They accused them of being on Epstein's Island and saying, "Oh my God, he's going to expose them." I mean, that's
Trump's lawyers sent emails and letters to CNN, MSNBC, mainstream, everybody.
Yeah, see,
did they? I don't know.
I don't think so.
How many accusations since 2016? Russia collusion.
Oh man,
who sent those letters?
You can end up playing whack-a-mole to the end of time.
I don't
Good
like
point,
this.
Rob.
Did you see what Piers Morgan says?
Like
on a show called Uncensored.
I mean,
we kind of don't want to censor.
Yeah.
But then you saw the thing with Alan Greenspan that we showed. I'm not Alan Greenspan.
Alan Dershowitz.
Alan Dershowitz. Sorry.
Play that one as well, Rob.
Yeah, about when he was, I think, arguing with.
We didn't show that. We showed it.
The jihadist guy, Mohammed Hijab.
So this guy, because I mean, Piers go.
A couple good points there at the end. You got to wonder what's going on with Jay-Z and Beyonce, in that, a rapper who's basically known for songs like Big Pimpin' and things that are kind of more aligned with some of the stuff that was going on, right? Just as far as words in their songs. But you think that would kind of apply to their lifestyle or something. Maybe not. I mean, maybe, like I said, they're just a bunch of posers. Everybody's just faking it. All of a sudden, there's these cease and desist letters where they accompanied with threats. I don't know. That's something to consider as well. It's just certainly interesting, the things that they show interest in versus the things that, some of these other people didn't show interest in, these other accusations. And, it's just frankly, I mean, Piers Morgan Uncensored is just a YouTube channel, right? Granted, that video probably had over 1 million views, maybe even more. I can't remember what it was whenever I watched it, but typically his videos get about 1 million views or so. But, everybody had seen it already. So what's the point of taking it down, especially like what Adam said right there, that it's a show called Uncensored, and that Piers Morgan at the time did defend Jay-Z and Beyonce by saying, well, they're not here to defend themselves. I thought at the time he really managed that pretty well. It was just one person, a guest on the show, making allegations, making claims, and that's kind of what we see pretty regularly in the news or on YouTube, things like that. So I don't know, definitely questionable, definitely curious. Right. And so I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and also subscribe. That really helps out the channel as well. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one.